I'm joined by Middlesex's assistant coach Nic Pothas here after day 2 against Gloucester. Nic, 96 for 3 at the end, 67 runs ahead. I guess looking back to where we were this time last night, that's a pretty decent day's work.
Yeah, it has been. Obviously Toby's spell and the outcome of that spell has put us in that position. Some very good catching and fielding in amongst it has allowed us to be in that position. There was the frustration of a partnership at the back end, but that's the nature of cricket and that can happen. But certainly after yesterday, we're happy with the situation we're in. I suppose satisfied is more the word, but there's a lot of hard work to do.
Absolutely. I caught up with Robbo, Gubbo and Esky after they got out today. Never a nice thing to do, but each and every one of them were unanimous in their belief that there's a hell of a lot in that wicket. It's doing plenty, there's plenty of nip, plenty of zip, plenty of movement. So I guess that puts our 96 for 3 in context. That's a decent dig.
Yeah, I think so. It's always quite difficult when you sit out here and certainly looking at a computer screen doesn't tell you the full story as to what's going on out there. So yeah, it's been pretty unanimous amongst the batters, and I think their batters too, that there's enough in that wicket if you get the ball in the right place often enough, that you'll certainly see reward.
So we're 67 runs ahead now. Looking on from the sidelines, what do you think's a total that is going to put us in a commanding position? How far ahead do we need to be?
400? I think we had a chat in the change room, now, and certainly north of 200 is going to be very difficult, but we've got a long way to go to get there. There's going to take some good batting to get to that point, but certainly anything north of 200, if we bowl and field the way we did in the first innings, it'll take a good batting effort on their part to get that.
Absolutely. One thing I know that's frustrated you, and I know frustrated Stuart, and I'm sure the side in the recent 2 games, is drop chances. You've worked incredibly hard, I know, since Derbyshire at making sure that we can rectify that and come around and take those chances when they come our way. You must be pretty satisfied. There's been some absolute belters taken. Esky, I know, took a fantastic one this afternoon. Must be pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, always. You don't, when you work at something, you don't expect results to sort of come with a flick of a switch. But on the flip side of that, just because you drop a few catches doesn't mean that the world's come to an end. It is very frustrating, and it's more frustrating for the bowlers because they put in a lot of hard work on these wickets. So we certainly feel their pain. But allied to that, in the last few games we've probably been too deep as well, so we've had quite a lot of chances that have bounced short. So it's sort of been a twofold, I don't want to call it a fix, but focus area whereby we've looked to get a lot closer. The slip cordon sort of changed a little bit, position wise. We've got David in there who's one of our best catchers, so that has helped as well, because it does help, and it bleeds off into other guys when you know that you've got one of your best catchers in there. So yeah, I would say it's been more a methodical type change, a tactical type change, rather than a heap more work.
You mentioned him earlier. A final word here for Toby Rowland-Jones. There's a guy that's been through the mill the last 18 months. He's worked unbelievably hard to get back to this point. As one of the coaching team, you must be enormously satisfied with how it's coming out for him.
Oh, very much so. And I think you've got to put a word out there for Alan Coleman too, because Coley's worked really hard with Rojo since he's had his injury and getting him back to bowling and bowling well. And for Rojo himself, he's worked extremely hard. And when you've been at the top of the world and you've been successful at test match level, by the nature of a human being, you do start to doubt yourself, even when you are bowling beautifully. We've put a few catches down of him, a few bounds short of him, and that happens when you're not getting wickets. So, to see the result of that, as I said, we saw it at the back end of Derby, we saw that snap back, we saw the ball sort of behaving off the wicket like it has done before. So we sort of anticipated something was around the corner. And hats off to him. I think to a man in this change room, you couldn't be happier for a bloke who, as you say, has been through a pretty tough time of late. So onwards and upwards. It's 7 for now, and it's a great opportunity. We can tick off a 10 for Toby.
Absolutely, mate. Couldn't agree with you more. Music to everyone's ears, I'm sure. Well, Nic, thanks for joining us, and all the very best of luck tomorrow.
Always welcome. Thank you.